Right, so we got MMO bites about the Blue Protocol and Thrones and Liberty already failing already. It didn't even come out yet. It's already failing. Jeez.
NCSoft
Let's see what
quarter
this is
4
about.
2023. Guild Wars 2 is a bright spot for NCSoft as Throne and Liberty stumbles, which means it's up to Amazon to save the game. Bandai Namco reports year-over-year sales drop, admitting Blue Protocol JP significantly fell short, which means it's up to Amazon to save the game.
Right.
And taking a look at the other games that Amazon own or operate, New World with 9,924 players in game right now with a 14,669 player peak, and Lost Ark with 48,461 players online right now and a 61,246 player peak. Maybe betting on Amazon was not the right choice. Now, I have been talking very positively about Blue Protocol ever since it was announced. I think all the way back in 2019, so 5 years ago. I've also been talking very highly of Project TL, which was what Throne and Liberty was before it rebranded it.
It ain't like it's, dropping in. It's like five people online, or Steam or something, Ain't like that, it's not too bad.
Throne and Liberty, both games I was very excited for. I'm still kind of excited for Blue Protocol, given
studio
I
shit,
did enjoy
is
the
it?
Japanese beta test and the Japanese launch. I just felt like there wasn't really like an abundance of things to do. Guild Wars 2 has always done.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing with PSO2, right? Because PSO2 is suffering from like this same stuff a little bit because when PSO2 launched, it had like barely nothing. All we had is, of course, the cosmetic stuff, of course, for the store and stuff you can buy, of course. But a little bit of story here and there. But once you finish the little story up, you're just now waiting for more content to drop.
Exceptionally well, I think, for NCSoft. I think the Lineage MMOs have always done moderately well. Ion is always, or at least for the last several years, has underperformed. Blade and Soul has underperformed. Throne and Liberty was supposed to be their next big MMO, the next big moneymaker for them. But according to Massively OP, who actually sourced the NCSoft IRN really web, quarter 4 NAEU sales grew by 15% quarter over quarter due to strong sales of Guild Wars 2, which I'm sure almost nobody ever thought they would hear. So that's a welcome tidbit. During the investor call, NCSoft was taken to task for masking those per game revenues as well as for revealing no revenue data for Throne and Liberty. For whatever reason, they have chosen to hide the revenue for Throne and Liberty. I'm pretty sure we can all guess why that is the case, which launched in Korea in the middle of the quarter. NCSoft told investors that Throne and Liberty,
and plus, these games also kind of suffer from like responsiveness. Like that's why I like PSO2 so much, because the response of like attack and stuff, and you don't have to wait, and you could just jump out of the way and stuff. Some stuff in these games is like the way you do attacks. It's not even like a lock-on attack. It feels like you just moving left and right, and you're just doing your little attack, and you see your character moving. It just don't look like an actual, like you about to hit like a punch gut. You punch him in the gut or something. It's just like, oh, here's a fire blast, and here's me
is the most
zigzagging with my fire blast.
The entire investor call, the entirety of the revenue report. Throne and Liberty had underperformed, and that they are working on sorting out the game's rocky launch. However, it looks as if NCSoft is banking more on Amazon's global release to save the game. So that doesn't work. Sorry, that just doesn't work. Your game has to be good for people to play it, and then you branch out to be that. You just don't do that. I just want to point out here, Korean players, who this game directly targets first and foremost as a Korean MMO, hate the game. Nobody wants to play it. Why would we? I'm sorry.
It's literally it's like the oh my god, it's like asking people, hey, what you want in WB games? All right, we want another Batman game. All right, here's Kill the Justice League, and here's the mission pass. You not asked for that. This game might suck. No, we know what y'all want. Y'all want this game. Is it fun? Yeah, here's a little bit of gameplay. It's fun. It's a little bit fun. Yeah. What about your service? Service gonna be good. No, he's just gonna fuck it up a little bit here and there. It's all good. But what?
The game has been poorly received. The game has done.
Yes. And that's the one thing you have to have. Your game has to be received good. It can't be received poorly. How is your big game going to receive poorly from the get-go? And then you want it in the bigger, broader audience to even make it worse? Like, you know, I just hurt my arm. I got my arm busted wide open. You know what? Maybe need to expose some more for the air can hit it so I can even have more blood and not stitched up enough. You know, it's good.
Poorly.
They
have openly admitted that it underperformed, and Amazon are going to publish this game in the hopes that we play it and we spend money on it, even though it has been proven to be a piece of trash.
Right.
Now, I know there are some of you out there that like the game or that have been enjoying the game, but that doesn't change the fact that the overwhelming majority evidently do not feel that way. And with all the server merges that have been going on, it is clear that the active player base has declined by a substantial
Blue Protocol,
and when the developer themselves openly admit their game underperformed, there's no way you can defend them or the game at this point. But that's just Throne and Liberty. Let's take a look at Blue Protocol. Before we do, though, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon. We're off here to continue to do dedicated videos and MMOs like this every single week. Actually, news websites have reported this. Bandai Namco reveals that it recently canceled 5 games, saying it plans for stricter quality control. This is after the publisher reported a 96% drop in year-on-year profits in its game division. A 96% drop. That is an astronomical number. I honestly
like
don't think anyone can contest the fact that clearly they are in a bad state right now. And if Blue Protocol were a larger success than it has been, they probably wouldn't have suffered as severe a drop. Navigating on over to massively OP,
really
though, Bandai Namco has disclosed its fiscal year third quarter financial reports, and it looks like things are not going well for the developer and publisher, as its operating profit for its digital entertainment segment took an 8.9% hit to net sales compared to the same period last year, and a 96.5% drop in income. According to a statement from the company, most of its profit drop is being attributed to the massive sales of Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring sold, what, like 20-something million copies? 23 million copies. Holy crap. From last year not being replicated this year, even as other titles in the Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Armored Core IPs did well. The income deficit...
That's why I'm looking forward to seeing more Armored Core stuff. I want to see more Armored Core games, man, because that's what's been lacking so far as freaking games go. Like, we have all these other MMOs and single player games that just, like, you know, always a human or female or whatever, futuristic or medieval stuff going on. There's like no armored mech games, you know, no more, you know, there's no more Gundam. There's nothing. There's literally nothing. There's no freaking, what is it, Deus Machina, none of that shit. All that shit is like gone.
It is also causing Bamco to review its development processes, which has resulted in 5 independent titles being canceled before a follow-up Q&A session with investors, chalking the canceled development up to a loss on disposal. The fiscal report has also caused Bandai Namco to make some financial projection revisions. Naturally, this makes us wonder what is happening with Bandai Namco's anime MMORPG Blue Protocol. A related quarterly presentation from the Japanese site does make reference to the game, which said, and this is once again the most important part of the entire financial report, the new online game significantly fell short of plan. According to a fan translation on Reddit. Significantly fell short. Underperformed. Significantly fell short. Both games are doing terribly. These are two highly...
which means it's probably lacking a lot of content that people want to see or want to play for the game. That's what it comes down to.
Anticipated upcoming MMOs. One from NCSoft, who has a history with actually pushing out some decent quality games. Lineage and Lineage 2, Blade and Soul, Guild Wars 2, Ion, before it became shit. Bandai Namco with, God, I don't even, like, there are dozens of different intellectual properties. The Tales of games, Scarlet Nexus, God Eater, they published Elden Ring. Like, they have a lot of very high quality games as well. But both their MMOs are underperforming.
And the reason why most of those stuff are failing, because they are lacking a lot of content, because a lot of people that, I don't know, whales maybe or whatever, but a lot of people that got time can play that game in one day, one whole day, and finish everything in the game, or 2 days at most, right? If they really about it. And they just finish that, and then what they just like, or pretty much if it's not like fun in the first 10 or 2 hours playing the game, they ready to leave and on to the next MMO game or whatever, you know?
Case of the Protocol significantly underperforming. However, the game is still getting updated in Japan, and its executive producer is trying to project a rosy 2024 as he talked up the game's cross-platform release to Xbox and PS5 in December, promised further adjustments based on player feedback, and looked ahead to the MMO's first anniversary in the country.
Right.
Meanwhile, the Western release window hasn't yet shifted from Amazon's plan for sometime this year. Now, I will give them credit here. They are making a lot of updates. They are taking a lot of player feedback and making, I think, personally, sufficient alterations to the game to improve it.
Yeah,
I think
you definitely need that.
This is
another
case of PSO2, and that is that the game released with not enough content to really retain player interest long term.
That's exactly what happened, because funny enough is that my cousin, he got me into playing PSO2 when it came out on the little Xbox or whatever, right? And when I went to play it, I'm like, damn, this game is nice. The original base PSO2, right? And it had a lot of content, a whole shitstorm of content that you know, they were just releasing like month, like all that stuff like took forever. But over here, they was releasing that shit like fast and quick. And I'm like, oh shit, I can't even keep up with this goddamn content. But my cousin and them, they played it and they was like, oh yeah, well, this game's all right, whatever. But I'm like, y'all not seeing this? All this content is being released, and they played it for a little bit with me too, like a couple of months and stuff. But of course, other games came out, and you need that retention for your game to be fun in order to keep going like that. Not just you have to keep waiting another month or 4 other months for more content to come out. It needs to be snappy, you know. But yeah.
And they're playing catch up after releasing the game.
See?
What this means is that players hit end game and complete everything in a minimal amount of time. And then they just leave and never come back. As was the case with PSO2.
That's what happened to my cousins. They played it with me.
Poorly.
And then we almost hit end game at that time. When it was like cap locked at 20 or something,
with regards to the
or 30.
Protocol, it was confirmed we'll be getting a lot of the content
We
that
had to
Japan
wait a couple
has
more months
when
for
the
it
game officially
to
launches
level cap up again
in English. So we might not necessarily have as big of a problem in terms of the rate at which we consume the content at, because there might be a lot more of it to ultimately consume. It is definitely a little bit foreboding, seeing both games severely underperform to this magnitude. And honestly, after seeing them both underperform, after seeing the absolute silence from Amazon as well, I do not think either game is necessarily going to do that well. Now, I really hope they do.
Because again, the content has to be there, like first and foremost. This can't be like half-assed or you cutting bits and pieces off your game, and then you think players going to stay with it. No, they're going to hit that end game like quick as hell than you think before you put it out there. So you're like, oh, they got like a week or whatever, or a couple of months they can handle it. Yeah, that's true for some people, but your game is literally hitting word of mouth versus your game, the fun of your game. You know, if people don't see your game as fun at the beginning, and then a lot of other players catch on to that and say like, hey, this game is gonna be good, but it's lacking content, and I have to wait. And nobody wants to wait for your content to come out. Nobody want that shit right now. They want it like a drug dealer. You know, you better have my shit ready. You know,
I truly do, because every time an MMO dies, that's one less game I get to cover for my channel. Thus, the more games that die, the less videos I can push out. I don't want any MMO to fail.
Yeah, you don't.
Love something new.
You just want more content for the game.
And, I mean, at the end of the day, neither of these games might be the game that I'm after. Ashes probably won't. The Riot MMO might not be. Arcade 2, who knows? All we do know is, in each game's respective country of origin, they have done very poorly, and we still don't have a projected release date for global. Now, if you're not interested in either of these games, absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now. That might be more up your alley.
Yeah, man, that is something. Yeah, Bandai Namco, Blue Protocol. Yeah, this is yeah, the player base already saying is already. Yeah, man, that is wild right there. Jeez, 96 drop year on year profits. Woo, woo, woo. Goodbye. Oh man, all right, we'll play it. We'll play it when it comes out though, just to see if it's good or not. If it and see the feedback from players and see what they change. All right. Yeah.